Tonight, the world watches with bated breath as a new crisis unfolds on the global stage. A dangerous confrontation is rapidly escalating, sending shockwaves through capitals from Washington to Beijing and beyond. The South China Sea, a vital artery for global trade, and a flashpoint for international tensions, is once again at the center of the world's attention. Breaking news: Chinese warships and the U.S. Navy are on a collision course, with the Philippines on highest alert. The region is bracing for what could become a defining moment in 21st century geopolitics. This is no drill. It's a real-time standoff between two of the world's most powerful navies, each determined to assert its dominance and defend its interests. The vast blue waters are now crowded with gray steel hulls. A formidable U.S. carrier strike group faces off against China's most advanced destroyers and frigates, their crews on high alert and ready for any eventuality. Fighter jets are poised for launch, the distance between the fleets shrinks by the minute. Pilots sit in their cockpits, engines humming, awaiting the order that could change the course of history. Years of simmering disputes, territorial claims, and military buildups have led to this tipping point. The world has watched as tensions have mounted, but tonight, the stakes have never been higher. Diplomatic language has given way to military hardware and high-stakes brinkmanship. The era of quiet negotiations has been replaced by the roar of engines and the glare of searchlights on the open sea. A single miscalculation, a misunderstood signal, or an accidental collision could spiral into a conflict drawing in nations across the region, threatening peace and stability far beyond these waters. For the sailors on deck, the psychological pressure is immense. Training now meets the reality of a potential global crisis. Every decision, every maneuver, could have consequences that echo around the world. The immediate trigger is a mix of bold maneuvers and defiant posturing, but the core issue runs deeper. Sovereignty, national pride, and the fundamental question of freedom of navigation in international waters. The U.S. insists on upholding international law and the right to free passage. China, meanwhile, sees the American presence as a direct provocation and a challenge to its territorial claims. The Philippines and other regional nations are caught in the middle, their security and economic futures hanging in the balance. For them, the outcome of this standoff could shape the region for generations. Tonight, the South China Sea is the world's most dangerous geopolitical chessboard. Every move is calculated, every response weighed for its potential to escalate or defuse the crisis. Intelligence analysts and military strategists are glued to live feeds, scrutinizing every maneuver, every signal, searching for clues to the other side's intentions. The margin for error is razor thin. One wrong move, one misread signal, could ignite a conflict with global repercussions. The world holds its breath as the pieces move into position. In these tense hours, the fate of the South China Sea, and perhaps the world order itself, hangs in the balance. China's latest deployment is more than just a routine show of force. It's a bold and unmistakable statement of intent. The world is witnessing a new era in naval power, as Beijing signals its determination to assert itself on the global stage. This move is calculated, deliberate, and designed to send a message not only to its rivals, but to the entire international community. Beijing has dispatched its most advanced warships, Type 055 destroyers, state-of-the-art frigates, and a full complement of support vessels, into some of the world's most hotly contested waters. These ships are equipped with cutting-edge technology, advanced missile systems, and the latest in naval warfare capabilities, making them a formidable presence in any maritime theater. Their mission is clear: to challenge U.S. naval supremacy and to enforce China's sweeping territorial claims across the South China Sea and beyond. By operating so close to American vessels, Chinese warships are sending a direct challenge, testing the resolve and response of the U.S. Navy in real time. This deployment is a direct response to ongoing American freedom of navigation operations, which Beijing views as provocative. By matching presence with presence, China is signaling its readiness to meet force with force and to defend what it sees as its rightful maritime territory, no matter the cost. The move is a high-stakes gamble, intended to reshape the regional power dynamic and force Washington to reconsider its actions. It's a calculated risk, one that could either cement China's dominance or escalate tensions to dangerous new heights. China's show of force is also a stark warning to its regional neighbors. Challenging Beijing's sovereignty comes with significant risks. Live-fire drills and displays of naval might are meant to deter any opposition and to remind the world of China's growing military reach. Smaller nations like the Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia watch with growing concern, acutely aware of China's overwhelming military superiority. For these countries, every maneuver by the Chinese Navy is a reminder of the delicate balance they must maintain between asserting their own claims and avoiding direct confrontation. the message from Beijing is unmistakable: align with China's interests or face the consequences. Through both words and actions, China is making it clear that it expects deference from its neighbors and is prepared to enforce its will if challenged. Decades of relentless investment and modernization have transformed China's navy into a true blue-water fleet, one that is technologically advanced, professionally manned, and capable of projecting power far beyond its shores. This transformation has been rapid, and the results are now on full display for the world to see. This confrontation is about more than just a single U.S. operation. It's a direct test of the post-World War II security order in Asia. The rules and alliances that have governed the region for decades are now being challenged, as China seeks to rewrite the balance of power in its favor. China now sees itself as a maritime superpower, standing shoulder to shoulder with the United States. The era of uncontested American naval dominance in Asia is over, and a new, more uncertain chapter is beginning. The stakes extend far beyond the region. With vital global trade routes passing through these contested waters, any conflict here could have ripple effects across the world economy, threatening the flow of goods and energy supplies. The world is watching, anxiously waiting to see who will blink first. In this high-stakes game of maritime brinkmanship, the decisions made in the coming days could shape the future of the Indo-Pacific and the world for years to come. For the Philippines, this crisis is deeply personal, unfolding right on its doorstep, threatening not just its borders but the very sense of national security. The tension is palpable across the archipelago, as communities brace for what may come. The nation is now on its highest alert, with military and government officials working around the clock, monitoring every development and preparing for any possible escalation. The sense of urgency is clear in every command center and government office. Filipino forces have ramped up patrols along the western coast, navigating the tense and contested waters of the South China Sea. Every mission is a show of resolve, as they face the daunting presence of foreign vessels. Joint U.S.-Filipino military preparations are accelerating under the Mutual Defense Treaty, with both nations conducting more frequent and complex exercises. These drills are not just symbolic, they are a clear message of readiness and partnership. American advisors are now working closely with Filipino commanders, sharing intelligence, conducting joint surveillance flights, and coordinating rapid responses to any sign of escalation. The collaboration is tighter than ever before. The goal is clear: present a united front and deter Chinese aggression, showing that any threat to Philippine sovereignty will be met with a coordinated response. Filipino forces face immense pressure, often outmatched by China's powerful navy, but remain determined to defend their territory and uphold their nation's dignity. The stakes have never been higher. Every patrol is a delicate balancing act, defending sovereignty while avoiding any action that could trigger a wider, potentially devastating conflict. The tension is constant, the risks ever-present. The government must project strength and unity to its people and the world, while also seeking diplomatic solutions to prevent catastrophe. Behind the scenes, leaders are working tirelessly to find a peaceful path forward. Public sentiment is running high, with citizens demanding a strong stance against Chinese encroachment. The streets of Manila echo with calls for action and national pride. The Philippines now stands at a historic crossroads, its choices more consequential than ever before. The decisions made in the coming days will shape the nation's future and its place in the region. Beyond strategy and hardware, the human cost is profound. Filipino fishermen, who have relied on these waters for generations, now face harassment and danger from Chinese Coast Guard vessels. Their small boats are no match for steel ships. Every trip is a gamble with their livelihoods and safety. Many are forced to fish closer to shore, leading to smaller catches and economic hardship. The territorial dispute is not abstract. It's a daily struggle for survival. The South China Sea is a critical food source for millions. Disruptions ripple through local markets and communities. Fishermen witness the military buildup firsthand. Their voices often lost amid geopolitical rhetoric. They are the human face of the conflict, caught between superpowers. Their fate hangs in the balance with every move on the chessboard. The battle for public opinion is as fierce as any naval maneuver. China frames its actions as defending historical rights and sovereignty, portraying the U.S. as an aggressor. State media rallies nationalist sentiment, casting China as a victim of foreign interference. The U.S. insists it's upholding international law and freedom of navigation, presenting itself as a stabilizing force. Both sides use powerful rhetoric to justify their actions and rally domestic support. These competing narratives make compromise difficult, backing down risks being seen as weakness. The war of words traps leaders, pushing both sides closer to confrontation. The South China Sea is a vital artery for the global economy. 1/3 of maritime trade passes through these waters. Any disruption, from conflict to increased risk, would send shockwaves through global supply chains. The region holds vast reserves of oil and natural gas, making it a prize in the global energy game. For China, control means energy security. For others, it's a path to prosperity. The sea is also a critical food source, supporting millions through fishing. Conflict would devastate marine ecosystems and trigger a humanitarian crisis. The economies of Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and even distant nations depend on these shipping lanes. No country is immune to the fallout of a conflict here. The stakes are global. Stability in the South China Sea underpins the world economy. De-escalation is in everyone's interest. This crisis is rooted in decades of overlapping territorial claims. China's 9-dash line covers most of the sea, based on historical arguments rejected by international law. In 2016, the Philippines won a landmark legal victory at The Hague, invalidating China's sweeping claims. China dismissed the ruling, accelerating island building and militarization. Artificial islands became fortified bases, cementing China's control despite legal objections. For the Philippines and others, the ruling is a cornerstone. For China, it's foreign interference. This unresolved legal and moral divide fuels the current standoff. The cycle of posturing and deadlock continues, pushing the region to the brink. In these contested waters, close encounters are routine and dangerous. US and Chinese ships and aircraft shadow each other, sometimes coming within feet. One mistake could spark disaster. These maneuvers are high-stakes signals. Each side tests the other's resolve. China's gray zone tactics, using Coast Guard and maritime militia, blur the line between civilian and military, complicating responses. Advanced technology, from hypersonic missiles to drones, raises the stakes and shortens reaction times. The risk of miscalculation or technical failure is ever present. Every day is a test of nerve and judgment. In this volatile environment, the line between deterrence and disaster is razor-thin. As US and Chinese warships face off, the world holds its breath. The United Nations and global leaders call for restraint and diplomacy. Financial markets are on edge, fearing escalation could trigger global crisis. The greatest danger, a miscalculation that spirals into open conflict. A clash would shatter decades of peace, disrupt global trade, and trigger economic and political chaos. The hope is that calm heads prevail, and diplomacy triumphs over confrontation. The fate of the South China Sea and global stability hangs in the balance. The outcome is unwritten, but the stakes have never been higher. The world waits for a sign of de-escalation.